leader Roxanne Schuff and director Kristen Slick. Both have fully booked their March with the Prep Ahead party theme. Their approaches reflect best party experience practices. You'll learn more about how they plan to do these parties, as well as words to use to help get bookings. We'll walk through resources available for the party theme and additional training available to support your parties this spring. And if time permits, we'll also hold an open question and answer to help answer any questions you may have. Please note that both Roxanne and Kristen couldn't be here live, so we'll be answering those questions on their behalf.
So before we get started, let's just cover a few housekeeping items about Zoom. So whether you're viewing on a desktop or a mobile device, you should see a panel at the bottom of your screen with an audio, Q&A, and raise hand button. If you don't see these icons, like you can see up here on the PowerPoint, try hovering over your Zoom screen on a desktop or tapping your screen on the phone. Throughout the webinar, please type any questions you have into the tab listed Q&A. We won't be addressing these questions real time, but we will be going back to answer your questions at the end of the webinar if we have time. If for whatever reason you aren't able to stay for the entire webinar and you do have questions for us, please send your questions to experience@pamperedchef.com. This webinar will be recorded and will be posted in an upcoming STIR article. Also, we do want to note that this was our first time holding a Zoom webinar with so many of you on here, so please bear with us if we run into any technical issues, and we'll work to get them sorted out as quickly as possible.
Okay. So first of all, some of you may be wondering, what does Prep Ahead mean? Now, this is a party theme that has been available for virtual parties, but it's the first time available for in-person parties. And Prep Ahead is all about prepping easy, delicious meals that focus on saving time and planning better meals. It's a solution you can offer your hosts and guests. Now, there are many different ways you could think about Prep Ahead. And that's what's so great about it, is you can customize it to what you're passionate about. Perhaps you're someone that loves to batch cook chicken at one time, whether that's on a double grill pan or maybe in the quick cooker. And then you're portioning out that chicken for a variety of meals. Or perhaps you're in love with our veggie prepping tools, and you're prepping a bunch of veggies once or twice a week, so that way they are ready to go for those quick, easy weeknight meals. And last, maybe you're someone that likes to prep your meal for the night before. That way when you're getting home from a party or you're getting home from work, you just throw it all together in the pan and you're ready to go. So no matter the approach, it's about teaching your hosts and guests how they can be more efficient with their time by using our amazing recipes and tools to make mealtime easier. There is one quick question I do want to answer before we go further. This is a webinar that is being recorded, and we will share the recording in a STIR article upcoming. So if you do have to miss any part of this, we will have that available.
Yeah. So now we're going to be hearing from team leader Roxanne Schuff. Roxanne has a very personal story about why Prep Ahead is so meaningful to her as a solution. So let's listen to what Roxanne has to say.
Hello, everyone. My name is Roxanne Schuff, and I am a consultant here at Pampered Chef. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about my story and how excited I am about our new Prep Ahead party theme that we're now able to offer. I was a consultant nearly 20 years ago, from about 2000 to 2004. Absolutely loved every minute of my time with the company, and at the time the plan was to be with the Pampered Chef forever. Unfortunately, as life happens to all of us, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I needed to kind of stop and put on hold what I was doing to help take care of mom, and I was so blessed to be able to do that, and so still so happy that that I was able to do that. Unfortunately, Mom lost her battle to breast cancer in 2003. So in that time frame, life kind of hit me a little hard, and I was struggling to pick myself up and start over again. I had lost my motivation, and I became a little depressed. I didn't realize at the time that looking back at it, I'm pretty sure that was what it was. And I wasn't taking good care of myself, and I ended up putting on about 50 or 60 pounds, and just wasn't in really good health, to be honest. So I decided to get myself healthy again and start taking better care of myself. So I got back to the gym, and that was in about 2008. Got back to the gym and started eating better. And so I've been prepping and doing prep ahead type things for years now. And at the time, it took me a few years from about 2008 till 2012. I lost about 50 or 60 pounds. And by prepping ahead and doing meals prep ahead and putting them in my freezer and always having healthy meals available to me, I've been able to consistently stay on track with a healthy lifestyle and keep that weight off. So I'm super excited now to be able to share this information and these ideas with all of our hosts and our guests, because it is a huge part of life that a lot of people struggle with, is being able to know what to do, or the easy ways to make these things possible and not have to do a ton of work. One of the things I do that I share is I prep it. Like when I cook big. If you're only cooking for 2 or 3 people, it's already cooked for 10 people, and then freeze it in individual meals and put it in your freezer. You'll always have it available. So even if you're only cooking a few times a week, you can see where that would make an easy way to prep ahead. So that's just one of the things I share with personal friends and things like that. My plan right now is to offer this also, which I'm actually have set up at our local gym that I go to. I was a personal trainer there for a little while. I managed the office. I just didn't feel like it was where I belonged, although I love working with people. I kept feeling this tap on my shoulder. So I just came back to the business to Pampered Chef in August, and I'm so excited to be here. And like I said, to be talking about our prep ahead. I always try to shoot for about 10 parties a month. Right now I have 7 prep ahead parties planned for the month of March. Plus I'm going to be doing, like I said, a demonstration for the gym members here at our local gym. So it's a great way to give tips to those who really need it or want it. They go to the gym, they work so hard, they need food ideas. So I'm excited about this and what it means to us and our hosts and our guests about all these amazing ideas we'll be able to share with them and help them stay on track. Because with health and fitness and food, it's just all about being consistent. We work our business consistently and we work at our fitness consistently. Anything you can plan ahead always is a better outcome than if we just kind of wing it. And winging it usually means going through a drive-thru. So we're going to try to take some of that out of our guests and help it make it easier for them. So I'm really looking forward to this and being able to offer and share these tips. I'm going to do a live every day on my virtual with a little tip every day on what they can do and some ideas. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope you guys are excited. Get out there, book those parties, and have a great time.
Thank you, Roxanne, for sharing your very touching and personal story. Roxanne really embodies our purpose of enriching lives one meal and one memory at a time. So let's talk about some key takeaways from what we learned from Roxanne. First, she has a passion for the idea of prep ahead. It's something that she does herself, and it's helped her meet her own health goals. So think of this. So many guests may still be aiming to meet and keep their New Year's resolutions. Be passionate about offering a solution that will help meet their needs. Second, she has a thought-through plan on how she wants to approach her in-person and virtual parties. So for her in-person parties, Roxanne plans to pick one recipe from the Prep Ahead party theme and highlight her personal Prep Ahead tips. For Roxanne, she likes to cook extra food. She
portions the meals out and then freezes them for future meals. That could be an easy grab and go on those busy weeknights. For virtual parties, she plans to go live every day and feature a short prep ahead idea. These videos can be short, about 2 minutes or so. They don't have to be all that long. There are so many great prepping tools that you can highlight in these daily videos. Think about featuring the new Quick Prep food grader or favorite prepping tools like the Quick Slice. Last, Roxanne is really thinking outside of the box to help her book march strong. She's looking to partner with local gyms to offer this demonstration. It is a great way to collect orders, get booking leads, and grow her network.
So after Roxanne filmed this, she had a party that very night, and there were 10 guests there and 5 booked for March and April. And so we asked for her to share the words that she used to get those bookings at her parties. So what she said was, Pampered Chef has so many great products, recipes, tips, and ideas to help save us all time in the kitchen preparing our family meals, even with the busiest of lives. If you enjoyed all the amazing products, I'd love the opportunity to come to your home and share the opportunity to teach some valuable tips and ideas with our brand new Prep Ahead party theme. I'll share recipes plus ideas that help me live a healthy lifestyle. And to make it even sweeter, you'll get to go on a shopping spree with your host rewards just for inviting me and Pampered Chef into your lives. At her parties, she plans to have a list of recipes available for future Prep Ahead parties. Roxanne realizes she can't share all her tips in one party, so she will continue to offer this theme throughout the spring and keep it fresh by varying the recipes and tips. So when you're booking parties, it's all about painting a picture for your guests and having that conversation. Guests may not know what Prep Ahead means unless you describe what they would expect at that party. So she's really focused on them and the solution that she can offer.
So Roxanne isn't just posting on Facebook, saying something like, help, my calendar's empty and I need a party. She's really, really focused on what she can offer for her guests. So now we're going to hear from director Kristen Slick. And Kristen has some different ideas to share on how she plans to use and book Prep Ahead parties. Let's watch what she has to say.
Hi everyone, my name is Kristen Slick and I'm a director from Illinois. I've been with Pampered Chef for 3.5 years and a director 2 of those years. I have also a background as a junior high teacher. I have 2 kiddos, Annie's 8.5 and Jackie's 6. I've been married for almost 12 years, so a very busy family, which leads me to why I love the idea of the Prep Ahead parties. I'm so excited for our new Prep Ahead parties for 3 reasons. First of all, I can share with my customers time saving with prep. I can also teach them how to maximize their ingredients. And number 1 that we do in our family is saving money by not ordering out and making quick meals at home, because we all have good intentions, right? So far, the Prep Ahead team has already given me 12 bookings for March, and I'm even extending into April with another 4. Everyone is loving the Prep Ahead concept. I've actually had people thank me for offering that specific theme because they're starting to burn out on their New Year's resolutions and need new inspiration. So for live hosts, how am I explaining this party? So what I tell them is for this party, we'll be making 2 main dishes with an option for a third. And that really depends on how much money the host wants to spend on groceries or how many people they have attending. I'll teach you how to prep common ingredients and how they will be used for 2 different meals. Your guests will get to try both meals and will have a chance to try the prepping and cooking tools to make the meal time easier. My shows definitely feel more like a classroom because of my background, but they also have this sweet rewarded taste test at the end. I love feeding people. The host can also tell me what power tools they're interested in seeing or what they might want to be using their host rewards on, and then I can help them format a menu. I've really narrowed it down to 4 recipes though, to get the best thing for the host buck and for our buck. So I've narrowed it down to General Tso's chicken, barbecue chicken coleslaw wrap, creamy cauliflower Alfredo, or the 7-layer salad. So based on what they want to see with their power tools, then I will be able to offer them the first main recipe and the second 2 recipes if they're interested. The cool part is each Prep Ahead party is going to look that different based on the recipes, so you can do many combinations of them. I'm also going to offer chocolate bars in the snack bar maker if they have 12 or more guests. And I will bring those and be able to demonstrate a simple snack or a these recipe options, not only for the tools, but also because they're family friendly and offer a deep taste profile for everybody in the family. Think about it. You have the wok, the double burner grill pan, the quick prep food grater, the quick cooker, and then some great sidekicks like the salad chopper, the garlic press, the closing press, the manual food processor. Why would you be excited to offer these recipes and multiple recipes within a theme? So there's nothing like seeing our new products and power tools live and in action. How many of us were apprehensive about a new product from this season or a past season until we actually got our hands on it? I can honestly say that about the quick prep food grater. I was nervous about it until I actually got it in my kitchen, and now I use it multiple times a week for homemade coleslaw, cauliflower, cheese, all of my veggie prep. And then I also wanted to follow up and let you know that my live party isn't over after the actual show, though. I also explained that every product gets a Kristen, no matter how big or how small. It can be as small as or as complicated as one of our electronic tools. I don't mean to say complicated in a bad way. Every guest gets a follow-up text or email after the party. Plus, I have the recipes handy for them to take pictures. Everyone loves taking pictures on their phone of the recipes. Plus, I post the recipes in the Facebook event for them. It allows me to build that relationship with the customers and let them know that I'm also providing them a service, which is different than shopping at a regular store. I also invite them to my Facebook VIP group, and where they can learn more prepping tips from me or just join us in the community in general. So that is how I run my live party start to finish in the next coming months and 6 weeks. Now, on the flip side, I do have a lot of virtual parties scheduled with this team too. So I've been reaching out to hosts to look with the Prep Ahead team with me. So the people that I've been choosing to reach out to have really been people that have engaged with me in the last 3 months because they're fresh and they're engaged and they're willing to communicate with me. Also, I look at my social media notes from my eavesdropping sessions. Yes, I give myself eavesdropping sessions that allow me to really kind of document and take note of what people are doing and what they're saying and what they're eating, and then I can match them with a conversation that I want to have them for the future. So what I do is I send a very simple message to any virtual guest or that virtual possible host, and I say, hey you, I'm creating a new Prep Ahead outline with new products and was wondering if you'd like to jump on the bandwagon to help me test it out as a host, virtually of course, with a cute emoji. And I've been getting really good responses. It's short, it's sweet, and it leaves them asking more questions. What new products? What does the Prep Ahead outline look like? What does a virtual party look like? If they don't respond right away, then I have been doing follow-up with something like, good morning, just following up as I work on post packet. I reached out because I thought it would be a great fit for your busy family. And that's where a lot of my eavesdropping comes in, is the fact that people are busy and they need kitchen solutions. And again, throw in an emoji. I did a heart emoji in that one. If they're asking me about what my virtual party looks like, I explain to them that it's a 5-day virtual Facebook party with recipes, kitchen tips, products, and cooking demos. You need to spend just 5 minutes a day on it, and I do the rest. It's the best way to get inspiration and host rewards. And when I say 5 minutes a day on it, it's because of the host coaching tasks that I'm giving them. And if they're doing those appropriately, then it'll be fun and engaging, and it'll be a minimum of 5 minutes that they're spending. But it really gets them convinced that this isn't taking away from what they're already doing on Facebook. How I break this down is my parties start on a Thursday. That's when inviting starts. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I do one engagement post a day, and that's just to get people seeing the post, engaged with the post, and letting just natural conversations happen about, the weirdest food they've ever eaten, or their favorite restaurant to eat out at, or what Sunday dinner makes them think of, something like that. Monday through Thursday, I actually post the bulk of the party, and that's where I feature a meal of the day. So Monday will be breakfast, Tuesday will be snacks, Wednesday will be lunches, Thursday will be dinners, Friday is going to be wrap-up. I always share 3 recipes first thing in the morning. People are really excited and usually ready to see those right away. And as the day goes on, each recipe gets approximately 2 posts that share the power tool, a video or a post, and supporting tool, a video or a post. So all day long, there's 6 to 8 posts as the day goes on. That includes also cooking posts, recruiting posts, or just regular fun engagement posts. So first recipe is always 3 recipes, and then I break that down. The other thing that I've learned in virtual parties is even though I use an auto-posting software, I use Bizly, I always still manually post at least once or twice a day with some supporting things that I'm working on or finding. I leave that a little bit to spontaneity and to actually read the crowd a little bit. I go live with cooking videos. Sometimes I throw in a silly story, an interesting article, a quick tip from me or my kids. Like if I'm at the grocery store and I'm picking out garlic, sometimes I jump on live and tell them how to pick out garlic. You guys remember that one from conference last year? And like a silly story just to make sure that they know that I'm a real person. Like last week when I prepped everything for pesto salmon and I was ready to cook it as soon as I got home after dropping my nephew off with my brother. But then it didn't really sound good, and Taco Tuesday sounded better from Chipotle, so I decided to do takeout instead. So I go live with those silly stories sometimes just so that they know that they're not alone, and I'm definitely pampered but not perfect. So that's how I would run my virtual parties for the Prep Ahead team, and to make sure that they understand that there is a system and an efficiency to it, but that it's not going to look the same for everybody. And that's where the conversation is really going to get going in a virtual party. So there it is, my game plan for spring. I'm excited for the fun and trendy new products, yet the functionality that we're used to Pampered Chef providing. I feel like we're reaching new customers every season as we strive to solve more kitchen challenges, and we're becoming very relevant in people's lives. So something that I would leave a tip with you is that was very effective for me and my team is reach out to hosts with expiring past host discounts. Host discounts that expired this past February, March, or April. Offer the new party theme and the fact that they get to renew their 10% discount with you, whether it be through a live or virtual party. Also, another tip is be on a fly on the wall on social media and use it to your advantage and really connect with someone who you think would greatly benefit from this. I wish everyone a wonderful spring season. Good luck. See you later.
All right, thank you to everyone who is providing feedback and questions on the Q&A. So I hope that maybe some of your questions will actually be answered in the next couple of slides. And again, thank you for the feedback on the Echo 2. Again, this is our first time doing this, and so we will definitely take those learnings. So let's go ahead and recap some of the things that Kristen did share. So first, for her in-person parties, Kristen is planning to possibly pair 2 main dishes together. Now, Kristen typically at her parties will do a main dish and then perhaps 1 to 2 other recipes, such as an appetizer, which could be like our classic party dip, a dessert, or a beverage. Instead, she's putting effort behind 2 main dishes. And her hosts are loving this option since they know their guests will get plenty to eat and get a chance to taste test 2 meals. But she's also pairing the main dishes based on common ingredients and showing how easy it is to prep ahead and then how that helps to save you money and time. So let's show you a chart, and I think that this is going to help some of you who are wondering, like, what were the recipes that Kristen was going to feature? And so I want to take a minute just to walk through this. And this is what is available in the Prep Ahead party. And so how we have it listed is that there are 5 of the demonstrable recipes that are featured in the in-person party. So we're going to talk about the in-person first. So here what we have is the 7-layer Tex-Mex salad, the barbecue chicken and coleslaw wraps, which I know that she did mention, the chicken sausage with peppers, the creamy cauliflower Alfredo, and the General Tso's chicken stir fry. And what we've done here is we've listed some of those common ingredients found in all of those recipes. So that way you could have a visual of what recipes you could pair together if you wanted to offer 2 recipes at your party. So for example, you could take some time to grill chicken tenders in the grill pan. Then you can use that chicken in the Tex-Mex salad or in the stir fry. But also think about how you can incorporate our amazing prepping tools, whether it's our new Quick Prep Food Grader or perhaps some of your other favorite veggie prepping tools. So you could prep a head of cabbage and use that cabbage in that same type of salad, the wraps, or the stir fry. And so we hope that this is an easy reference framework that you could look at. So that way, if you want to take that same approach of pairing two recipes, you can share the tips of how prepping some of your chicken or some of your veggies one time a week can help you with meals throughout the week.
Yeah, so Kristen had a great approach to her in-person parties, but I also loved her approach for virtual parties as well. So just to recap what Kristen talked about, she plans to focus on a star ingredient for the day. So whether that be cabbage or chicken, then she shows how to prep that ingredient for the week using some of our great prepping tools. And then further on in the day, she'll provide 2 to 3 recipes that use that star ingredient. So what we love to see is how consultants can take the framework that we provide in our party themes and really make it their own to work with them and their business. So I also want to talk about how Kristen approached her virtual booking. Kristen paid attention to what her customers are posting on Facebook. She's really looking for customers who are looking to eat healthier and commit to their New Year's resolution. Then she matches her customers' needs with this prep ahead party solution. So this is what Kristen messages her guests when she's looking to book parties. She says, "Hey you, I'm creating a new prep ahead outline with new products, and I'm wondering if you want to jump on the bandwagon and help me test it out virtually." Kristen really reinforces that it's important to keep these messages short and sweet. It's really getting customers interested to ask more.
And here's another sample message you could also send, especially if perhaps you have offered a prep ahead party before in virtual. "Hey, Susie, need ideas for mealtime? Love to share some tips and tricks about prepping ahead with you and your friends. What do you say?" So both examples pique the interest of your leads to find out more and initiate the conversation. And that's really what you want to do, is you want to start that dialogue so it isn't like a simple yes and no. It may be like, "What's prep ahead?" or "What recipe do you have to feature?" And getting that conversation started.
So both Kristen and Roxanne mentioned how they will highlight their favorite prep ahead tips based on their own personal experiences in their kitchens. These personal stories build trust and authenticity with your guests. So we want you to take some time after this webinar to think about the tips that you'll want to include in your party. So we have 3 things for you to consider here. First, which products make the most impact in your meal prep, in your own kitchen? Second, think about all the ways that those tools can help save you time. And then we also want you to think about how using those tools and prepping ahead can help save you money. So for example, we love this comment about the Quick Prep Food Grader that we found on Facebook. Part of the quote says, the Quick Prep Food Grader lets me grate a 2-pound block of cheese in under a minute. So they're showing how this tool can be used in their kitchen and why they love it. So think about personal comments and tips like this that you can share with your guests in your parties.
Now you may be wondering, if I am a newer consultant, can I do this party theme with tools from our kit? And the answer is yes. This season, there is a new party outline card featuring the barbecue chicken and coleslaw wraps for the deluxe or ultimate kit. The recipe has been modified compared to what you will see in Season's Best to work with just the products in the kit. And so to be able to access that recipe and those cards, you can go to PCU in the selling section. And then within there are recipe resources. And you'll see that not only are we including cards for the barbecue chicken and coleslaw wrap, but we also provided a recipe adaptation of the microwave peanut butter brownies for the rock cross. That way you can showcase both power tools at your party. Now this party theme also helps you cross out other products right out of the catalog. Make sure to highlight our amazing peelers or products to help store your prep food. So here's a fun tip we found when doing storage testing for Prep Ahead. We found that food stayed crisper and fresher when we stored in a hard-sided container and included a paper towel. So this could be our stainless mixing bowls or leak-proof glass containers. The paper towel helps absorb excess moisture and keeps the foods fresher. And this beats out storing in a resealable plastic bag. And if you're storing veggies that tend to dry out, like shredded carrots, cover the carrots with a damp paper towel.
Yeah, so those are some really helpful tips that you can think about and leverage in your Prep Ahead parties. So now we want to take some time to walk through some of the other resources that we have available for this party theme. So let's start out with the virtual Prep Ahead party theme. As some of you may know, there are lots and lots of resources available on virtual party themes to help you get from the moment that you set up that party on Facebook until the moment you wrap it up. There are, however, a few materials that we want to point out today that will really help you bring this Prep Ahead theme to life. So first, let's just briefly highlight the virtual party structure chart, which can be found in the training collection on the homepage of Virtual Party Themes. Last year, the Virtual Party Experience team surveyed our top 1,000 virtual consultants. We confirmed that offering a story or a theme throughout your entire party leads to better sales and higher guest satisfaction. We also learned that many consultants offer daily themes within that larger theme, which is a great option as well. Through research and partnering with consultants, we developed this outline guide to help you structure your 1, 3, or 5-day virtual parties. This structure will help you tell a story during your virtual parties, and it will make it easier for your guests and hosts to follow along. Prep Ahead is set up in a way where you can offer daily stories based on meals from breakfast all the way to desserts and snacks. This allows you to share a diversity of products for your guests. So now moving on to some of the party time resources that we have. The very first resource that you'll find in the party time collection of Prep Ahead is this words to use document. So this document will help you frame up your story. It will give you the words to use to help frame up your story, whether that be ready to go breakfast, quick prep lunches, or fresh prep dinners. Please remember though that these are just suggested words to use. You can definitely use them as a starting point, but we encourage you to go in and update them to make them sound like you and to add in your own tips and thoughts. The second document that you'll find within the Party Time collection is this Facebook video script. So if you were inspired by Roxanne's story about going live each day in the party, but you never really went live before, or you really don't know where to start, take a look at this document. It will help you create a framework for a video and help you plan what you'll say, whether you're filming a live or pre-recorded video. So this resource will really help you connect your audience with you and your Prep Ahead story. And then finally, like we touched on just a little bit a minute ago, we do have a variety of food and product posts that will provide your guests with extra information and inspiration on how they can prep ahead for the week.
For in-person parties, we want to highlight a couple resources that are different than the virtual party resources. So first, let's walk through materials that are in the party setup. The party theme overview describes all the materials available in the party theme. We've included a host letter for you to include in your host packet. When you download, you can customize the letter for your host. It allows you to include the name, date, and 2 recipe offerings. Your 2 recipes can be whatever works for your parties, whether it's a main dish and dessert, or if you want to try Kristen's approach with 2 main dishes. And we've also included a grocery list, and there's a couple ways to use this. One, you can print it out for your host packet and then just check mark the ingredients or circle that recipe that you plan to be demonstrating at the party. In the notes section, you can add ingredient substitutions or perhaps another recipe that you want the host to get groceries for, and maybe it's something as simple as a beverage to include. So in party time, you'll find those 5 demonstrable recipes that we showed you in that chart. And we had consultants in our councils vote on their top choices for a great party experience. And did you know that each recipe includes an Impress the Guest tip page? It includes cooking and food tips, plus product selling on key products featured in the recipe and ingredient substitution ideas. Consider adding at least one of these tips to every party or when you go live on Facebook. Last, we also offer recipe cards, and these are digital cards that can be shared on social media, or you can send as a thank you email to the guests after the party.
So we've covered a lot so far, but there are additional resources that you can review to set you up for success. First, if you want to learn more about party themes, take the Using Party Themes to Book and Sell training. In this training, we've partnered with some of our top leaders who use party themes as a tool to get bookings. They'll share how it has impacted their own business. Plus, you'll see snapshots of Director Sarah Birchfield and Executive Director Mary Haynes as we pull out certain elements of their parties to teach you how to leverage party themes into booking and selling moments for both in-person and virtual parties. So to find this training, go to Training and Resources on Consultants Corner, click the drop-down menu on the left-hand side that says Party Training, and then go down to Party Theme Training, which will be the last option for you to click on. And then you'll go to the Using Party Themes to Book and Sell training that's highlighted on the screen. If you haven't done so already, remember that you'll need to take Party Experience training in Pampered Chef University to access the virtual party resources we just talked about. You'll need to complete both the in-person and the virtual course of the Party Experience training to gain access to those virtual party resources. Also, if you're new to virtual parties or you just want to learn more about telling a story through your virtual party, take a look at our Faster Flexible Outlines training in PCU, which is located under the virtual party section of the selling course.
So if you're interested in seeing a full Prep Ahead cooking party, then check out Director Sarah Birchfield's cooking party video. Just like Roxanne mentioned, she selected one recipe from the party theme and included her Prep Ahead tips in the party. So this is located under the news and events where the spring launch materials were at. So look for the Prep Ahead cooking party.
So we want all of you to be able to take what you've learned in this webinar and go out and have a strong start to spring. So when thinking about offering virtual Prep Ahead, or when thinking about offering Prep Ahead parties, whether they're virtual or in person, remember to, number one, be the solution. Carve out 30 minutes tonight or tomorrow to reach out to 25 past customers or hosts who could benefit from a Prep Ahead party. Consider hosts who have the 10% discount close to expiring, or customers and friends who are trying to keep to healthier eating. Consider calling a local gym like Roxanne did and see if you can offer a Prep Ahead demonstration to expand your network.
Second, take some time to plan your Prep Ahead party by selecting the recipe or recipes and tools you want to feature. Then think about the tips you want to share that have made a difference in your kitchen.
And then last, check out additional training or resources that we mentioned earlier for more information.
So last, we enjoyed spending time with you this evening, and we do want to give a big shout out to Kristen Slick, Roxanne Shupp, Sarah Birchfield, and Mary Haynes, who have helped partner with us on these party ideas. And of course, we will be looking, we've been gathering feedback so far in the Q&A, but we're also hoping to send out a survey too, so we can learn if this is something you're interested in attending again in the future.
So we'll now go into the Q&A and answer some of the questions that came up. We have about 20 minutes left, so we'll try to get through as many questions as we can. But if we don't get to your question for any reason or you have to hop off, please email us at experience@pamperedchef.com and we can get to your question there. But Jackie and I will dive into the questions now.
Okay. So I know one question we had early on had to do with just getting people to engage in the virtual parties. And so, Rachel, do you have tips for virtual consultants on how to really get that engagement going?
Yeah, so of course we have kind of games and engagement in that section in our virtual party themes, which are available to you to use and post in your party to sort of generate that engagement. But one thing that we've heard that has really helped engagement in virtual parties is really just starting with that host coaching. So from that very beginning, when you start to create that relationship with your host, think of it as a partnership and let them know that it's a partnership, and really have them personally invite their guests so that they know that the guests are wanted in the party. This will most likely make them more willing and more excited to participate in the party. Also, make sure that your host is showing up to the party just like they would for an in-person party. So have them posting and commenting and kind of have them take the lead in engaging their friends within the party.
So I think one of the most commonly asked questions in our Q&A is, will this be available? Will the slides be available? And will that recipe chart with the veggies and all of our X's? You can tell that we're winding down for the night. So what we're going to plan to do is in Stir, we will be posting this webinar recording, and then we will work internally with where the best place would be for us to house this PowerPoint presentation and also that chart for you, just to make sure that you have that.
Definitely.
Okay. I knew another question was, because we don't have Kristen on here tonight, would she be willing to share her virtual party outline? It sounds like there is interest to know what she's doing on a Monday through Friday. We will connect with her and see if she is comfortable sharing that. And then I know a lot of consultants do use the Facebook Virtual Party Success or the Facebook Pampered Chef virtual parties, and we could post it there because that seems to be a place that people go to for outline ideas.
Let's see. All great questions.
I know there's also questions about the quick prep food grader and shipping, because I know some of you are like, well, I want to do this and I want to feature that product. Please know that I know that they're shipping out free for all samples this week. If you have ordered a sample, that shipping may come a little bit later, but we will work to find out when that will be. As you probably noticed if you watch the filming of the cooking party, you noticed that we used a prototype. So we just had some delays on the manufacturing end to make sure that this product met our expectations, but we are looking forward to getting that product into as many hands of consultants as possible. In the meantime, if that product isn't available to you and you still want to be able to do prep ahead, think about the other tools that you could feature, like our quick slice for doing peppers, our simple slicer, even our forged cutlery that can really help make prepping easier by using a great quality knife.
We also have a question here about how long those prep ahead parties might last. I'm assuming they mean in-person parties, especially if you're making 2 meals. Is it possible to still do kind of a reasonably length in-person party even if you're making those 2 meals?
That is a great question. I know that I think one of the, I don't want to say challenges, is that consultants right now are just planning what their party is going to look like, and they may have not actually had the chance to start their March parties. But I know that I have personally attended Kristen's parties before, and she does get her guests engaged in the process. And I think that is the best way to tackle 2 recipes at one time. by definitely having guests do different prepping steps. So perhaps you're having some people use one product, another use the other, and have them help with cooking at the stovetop.
This might be a more product-related question that Jackie might be able to answer better than I can. Jennifer said, when you store the veggies in a hard-sided container, you know if you can use the everyday cloth instead of a paper towel? Does that work?
If I remember correctly, our everyday cloths, as I'm trying to bring up the picture, they get pretty stiff when they're not wet, so they're not, I don't think they're going to be as effective as a paper towel would be. But I have to say, and I've heard this tip from consultants, like I was actually quite impressed how well, like the cabbage stayed really crisp in our stainless mixing bowls, because those are perfect for when you're prepping like those bulkier foods. Even if it's romaine lettuce or cabbage and so forth, I know people swear that their romaine stays fresher when they store it in that.
So Cindy asked, do hosts leave with a meal that they have prepped, or are they just taught how?
So based on us working with consultants on development of Prep Ahead for in-person and with chatting with Kristen Flick, it really looks like it's something that they're teaching at the party versus something that guests are taking away. But again, this is your business, and you know what's going to work best for you and your guests and hosts. I know that there are some people out there that do a fresh take on freezer meal, so you could possibly take that approach, and obviously keep us in the loop if you do try it out, because we'd love to hear how it goes. Natasha, thank you for the, I'm sorry if I did not pronounce your name right, but thanks for the tip. It's great to hear that even if you forget to put the paper towel in your lettuce lasts a week. I think the paper towel definitely helps those foods that have a little bit more moisture in it, like a cucumber or something like that. We're just scrolling through the questions the best we can. Again, this is our first time using this platform.
It looks like Kimberly asked, will Pampered Chef do more detailed training on virtual parties? So anywhere from kind of post-coaching to creating an event and posting to that event. So we do, one thing that I'd like to share with you all, I can get on my PowerPoint here, is we did do a training on kind of faster, flexible outlines last fall. So that showed sort of how to bring a party theme to life. And the theme that we were using specifically was, don't know if the recording posted, was either pizza party or quick fix dinners. But you can find that. So if you go to PC University here, scroll to our selling section. Scroll down to virtual parties, and then it will be this video here. So that really walks you through all of the resources that are available in the virtual party themes and explains a little bit more kind of why we created those resources and what they're meant to help you do. And then it shows sort of how we recommend, or how we've seen consultants build a day in one of their outlines using that party theme. So it kind of walks you through how to tell a story a little bit more. So that's one resource that we have available. But we are looking for new opportunities to kind of help you all with your virtual parties. So if you do have more ideas, please look out for that survey. That should be sent to you or available shortly. And we're more than happy to take your suggestions through that survey.
And one thing to note, too, is that Rachel will be working with a virtual party council this year. So that way we can identify some of those hot topics of what consultants are looking for virtual training, and that way we can continue to reinforce that. So that no matter what, we will be continuing to reinforce it, and what that looks like, we'll know more in the future.
Yeah, we'll keep you all updated, I'm sure.
Now, Rachel, here's a question for you. Is Nancy asked, do you recommend using a service such as ThinkShare or Post My Party?
I think that the answer to that question is really do what works best for you and your business. I think if you are a busy person that just can't get onto Facebook and post manually, I think that ThinkShare or Post My Party or any other service out there available, I think that's an option if it helps you run your business more efficiently. I think one thing that I would mention, though, is that whether you're using a posting service or not, you should still take the time each day, at least once a day, if not multiple times, to check into your virtual parties to make sure that you're engaging with your guests, you're having that meaningful conversation, or just answering any questions that they might have. So yes, you are more than welcome to use a posting service if that's what works for you. But no matter what, just make sure that you're still active in your parties.
So Jody has like the toughest question of the evening. And I will do my best to answer it. I'm sure that there are other leaders on here that could answer it better than me. And her question is, how do you suggest to customers that have Pampered Chef items, but they don't really need anything, and how to get them to get new products? So it's a tough question to answer. And I think the reason why is that one of the habits we have is to continue to go back to our old customers over and over again because we have that relationship built with them and they have that loyalty to Pampered Chef. But one thing to think about is how can you get outside of your network and attract new customers? And so I think Roxanne gave a great idea about, like, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do a demonstration. And that could be a great way to collect new leads for bookings or to collect other outside orders. The other thing too, Jody, is, think about the products that launched in the spring, or maybe think about products that are in the catalog today, but you really haven't focused on them in your parties, and fall in love with them again. Because oftentimes we know that when they see something, whether it's demonstrated at an in-person party or if it's shown in a virtual, like Facebook Live, guests are more engaged with the product when they see it. So there could be some hidden gems in the catalog that you haven't thought to feature in a while that your guests may just be skipping over in the catalog. And I think what's exciting about the Prep Ahead concept is that it does allow you to really feature so many of our prepping tools. Tonight we really focused more on the in-person with the recipes, but even if you look at the virtual, there is a wide variety of products that really talk about how you can prep ahead during different moments of the day to make meals easier.
Definitely.
Rachel, here's a question for you. What have you found to be the best virtual party time frame? 3, 5, 7 days, or even a 1-hour party?
So we've done lots of kind of research with guests and hosts, and even with a lot of our consultants, just to ask them with guests and hosts, what do they like to see from a virtual party, and with consultants, kind of what works best for them. We've learned that guests and hosts prefer virtual parties that are no longer than 7 days total. So that's from your very, very first post to your very last post. We have found that kind of the sweet spot is within that 5-day mark. So kind of keeping it shorter and not too long. But we have been kind of starting to hear a lot more from consultants who are having luck with that maybe shorter 3-day or even 1-hour virtual party. So I'd say definitely no longer than 7 days from your very beginning to your very last post. But if you are kind of looking to play around a little bit, I'd suggest that you kind of try shortening your parties a little bit and see how that works for you.
I think one other really interesting insight that we had last year that I wanted to share about virtual parties is also the number of posts a day. And so we had surveyed our top 1,000 virtual party consultants just to understand, like what Rachel was saying, is there a magical number of days? But there was a sweet spot for the number of posts a day, and that was up to 9. So I just thought that was an interesting tidbit, especially with knowing that we don't want to overpost and have too many notifications for guests, but still sharing enough that you can share, the products, the recipes, have a fun game, and then talk about other elements of the business too.
So one thing that I do want to add to that is, I know Jackie and I said that we've done a lot of research and a lot of kind of working with you all and guests and hosts to determine what is that sweet spot. But we've also seen that kind of if something's working for you, and if you're seeing a lot of success with it and don't maybe want to change, I think that's okay too. We've heard that kind of if you work with your guests and your hosts to create a party that they're interested in, I think kind of no matter what you're doing, as long as it's hitting off on their needs, I think that that's okay too. But definitely if you are looking to try something new, keeping these ideas that Jackie and I are sharing in mind would be a great idea.
Okay. Nancy, I know you're asking, will there be training anywhere for how to do a Facebook Live? It seems that even just helping with the phone setup.
So we don't have any training on that right now, but at least what I always go to as my best friend when I don't know a technical answer, which is pretty often for me, is I usually turn to Google or YouTube, and I know that they have lots of great tutorials out there from probably many different people that can probably help you set up that Facebook Live on your phone.
I know that there was will there be additional resources for a new virtual party platform? Squee would be awesome.
Yep, so we do know that some consultants are kind of exploring Squee and are trying new virtual party options. That is something that's on our radar, but we don't have anything quite ready. We don't have anything new additional resources to provide to you all yet. But that is definitely something that we'll continue to think about as we kind of see the need for it.
Right. So I know Nancy's asking, how many games should I include in the virtual party and the timing? I don't know if there's a magic formula for the number of games. I think that we hear different advice from different consultants. I know that consultants tend to share games kind of as part of that kickoff to get the engagement and get those notifications up and kind of get that vibe going for the party. And I know some people also like to start the day with a game just to also keep those notifications up. Rachel, do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, I think in terms of how many games, I don't think we have an exact number, but I just recommend that you keep in mind, no matter how many games you are featuring in your virtual parties, just think about that kind of ratio between maybe fun and game-like posts compared to those value-added posts, so those recipes and those food and prepping tips. And I'd probably recommend to have a little bit more of that value-added content to provide to your guests and hosts in the party to really help them with kind of quick dinner, any sort of mealtime solutions for them over inundating them with games.
I know that there's been some raised hands during this. I think that we've addressed most of the questions the best that we could. Do you want to see if we can try the raised hand feature? We've never done this before.
We haven't. Oh, goodness.
Do this. Oh, it doesn't allow you to.
Okay, friends, it looks like Jackie and I might have to take a loss on this raised hand feature. Let's see.
Oh,
okay.
there you go.
Dawn, Dawn Benzer, we're going to unmute you now. Let's see if you can talk. It looks like you are muted and we can't unmute you. Dawn, are you able to unmute yourself? Okay. Looks like Dawn is not able to unmute. All right, so we will hopefully be able to figure out this raise hand feature for our next webinar or any future webinars that we hold in the future.
And again, for those that are just jumping on now because they realize the time difference, this was recorded. There is also another one tomorrow at noon Central Time. That link is in the STIR. I think that went out today or yesterday. I'm losing track of time. But it is recorded, and we will also just update an article in STIR to include this information. Hold space bar down to mute.
Okay. Yeah, I know someone asked up here, where did it go? Do people have more sales with virtual going in addition to the in-person cooking show? So I think it's something that we've seen people do. I think it's kind of what works with your host. If your host is active on Facebook and would like to kind of use that virtual party or virtual kind of resource as a way to collect outside orders, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I don't think we have statistics on that to know how that impacts. I mean, I know it's a way for people to add those outside orders for family and friends that are out of state or not local, but I don't have specific data on that.
Okay. We'll answer, I know we're at time, we'll answer just a few more questions here just to kind of finish up. I know we might not be able to get to everyone's questions, so if we don't answer your question, please email us at experience@pamperedchef.com. We currently don't have any training on Post My Party or SynShare. Right now, I think, again, it's something that you can definitely find using either one of their sites or using my best friend, Google. Let me see. All right, and I think with that,
I think we are going to wrap it up. Again, we apologize that we could not answer those questions with a raised hand. Again, Rachel, can you share the email one more time?
Yes, it is experience@pamperedchef.com. So Jackie and I will be monitoring that email over the next few days to make sure that you get any of your unanswered questions answered. So shoot us an email if you have any additional questions or comments. Otherwise, thank you all so much for spending your Tuesday evening with us. We appreciate you hopping on to learn more about the Prep Ahead Party Theme.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.